Good morning, John Augustine back again. We're talking about the year 2003 and the events that took place. I mentioned them when I mentioned Spire, President Bush, George W. Bush, and then Iraq. So on the 21st of January 2003, the Spire Spike was erected in O'Connell Street in Dublin. The steel monstrosity that you see in O'Connell Street, where Nelson's Pillar was. In O'Connell Street in Dublin. And it was voted on by Dublin Corporation. Were they astray in the head? Without a shadow of a doubt. Who in their right mind had picked such a monstrosity that it does nothing? You'd want to have it somewhere that nobody could see it. There it is in O'Connell Street. When you think they'd have something between their ears, we'd say a brain, that they would have used the natural items that we have in this country, which is concrete and a great building tradition, and build a structure that would incorporate a restaurant and a lift and a viewpoint, nicely protected. Not like it was when there was Nelson's Pillar. There was you could go up, but you had to march up steps. So you want to be a young whippersnapper. If you were getting on in years, well, you wouldn't be able to go up full stop. It was trams at that time. Used to start from Nelson's Pillar, I remember it. Yeah, without the Black Rock and Dunleary and out to Blessington, they were all over the place. They were done away with, of course, too. But this business of what could have been done to enhance the city and have visitors admiring it. Is there anybody admiring the spike? The monstrosity? Not one that I am aware of. It does nothing. Such a monstrosity. It's just disgraceful that anybody in their right mind would vote for such a rubbish in a capital city. When you look at Paris, the place, the Arc of Triumph, you think they'd go along and do something like that? And then to have the Eiffel Tower. They objected years ago to that, but it's a restaurant and a lift up to it, and you'd be built out for years, I think. So they eventually saw the good of it. But there was one objecting to it. That's how. So these are the sort of items. So that was about the worst decision that anybody could take, and it shouldn't have been left to them. Some wiser council should have prevailed to make use of that great site and have something there that would benefit people and not be charging exorbitant prices either. Use it as a great gift for the local people to be able to go up and tourists, and not to have it so exclusive that the ordinary Joe Soaps couldn't avail of it. But anyways, we're talking about the spike. Oh, I don't go next door near O'Connell Street now. If I can possibly avoid it, I couldn't bear to look at it. Even when I went up, I thought it was awful. Now, that was the 21st of January. Wasn't that a dreadful thing to inflict on the citizens of the country, and the capital city, people coming abroad and looking at that yoke? Wonder what sort of idiots choose that. And it was made, somebody in Britain So look at it. Apparently it has to be cleaned. It costs a fortune cleaning the thing to otherwise it might go rusty. Please let it go rusty. The 16th of February 2003 in Dublin, 100,000 people marched. Now, what were they marching against? The invasion of Iraq by the powers that be, the United States, because of this terrible thing that happened. The Twin Towers, planes driven into them and destroyed, and 3,000 and odd people losing their lives, caused outrage worldwide. Most of the murderers were from Saudi Arabia, from well-to-do families, well-to-do. Oh, who'd want to visit that miserable country? 100,000 people marched against this war inflicted, and in Belfast 30,000 could only be mustered. Probably mostly nationalists. Can't see too many of the other. 30,000 in Belfast marched to express their opposition to the invasion of Iraq. In proper order, it was about the worst decision that was ever taken by deluded leaders. And then the 7th of April 2003, President George W. Bush of the United States visited Belfast to meet Tony Blair, the British Prime Minister. And he also met Bertie Ahern, our Taoiseach stroke Prime Minister, and leaders of the pro-agreement parties in Northern Ireland. Now, so we came to Belfast to meet Tony Blair. He didn't go to London, which I think to be a terrible marches, and so he came to Belfast. Now, the war that they inflicted on that country left a terrible legacy of persecution of Catholics and Christians. Terrible, where there was a few million Catholics. It's down to apparently about 250,000. There were more than most of them left because the Muslims, extremists, went mad. Caused outrage worldwide by their behaviour. But unfortunately, you see, there was a President, Saddam Hussein was there, and he was making kind of ridiculous statements. And but he didn't have anything, and they should have known that. Because when they're talking about arms, they didn't come across any or anything that he was talking about. And so the country was destroyed. Innocent people murdered. And Tony Blair, the worst decision he ever made was to join the United States and invasion of Iraq. What a stupid mistake to make. He didn't have to. He didn't have to, but this, how would I call it? And he was a very shrewd man, Tony Blair, and he was very helpful in the peace process in Bertie Ahern in Northern Ireland, inaugurated by that great Taoiseach stroke Prime Minister Albert Reynolds and John Major. They were very good putting the foundation. Now, and Gary Fitzgerald played his part. He had to deal with Margaret Thatcher, and she had to come around. She was out, all this old rubbish. And the Tories always had a very bad business in Northern Ireland down the centuries, and a very bad in this country also. Peel and what they call Russell. Oh, yeah. So there we are. We're talking about the marching in Dublin against the war, and they were right. And in Belfast they were right as well. But these are matters of court. So there we are. That's 2003, just a few items. So have a good day and enjoy the rest of the day. And just think of the mistakes that are made. Governments make mistakes, don't they? Bye now.